It's the day many Americans have been waiting for months. The Great American Solar Eclipse will be seen in just a couple hours here in Northwest Florida. I'm meteorologist Tyler Allender live from Chipley. We'll take you here in a minute.
A local teenager is dead. 3 suspects in custody after a shooting over the weekend.
Find out where it happened and who is being charged.
Live from WJHG in high definition, this is News Channel 7 at 11.
There is your countdown to the solar eclipse. We have 2 hours and 38 minutes, just about 37 minutes now, till we get to experience one of those once-in-a-lifetime happenings.
Good morning. I'm Donna Bell.
And I'm Paris Janos. Thank you for joining us for this special eclipse edition of News Channel 7 at 11 a.m.
Well, indeed, today is the day. The Great American Eclipse, as it's being called. We have reporters and meteorologists all across Northwest Florida. To kick off our coverage, we check in first with News Channel 7's Megan Bell and meteorologist Tyler Allender, who are in Washington County. How's it going over there?
Donna, I'm out here at Rolac Middle School in Chipley, where students and staff are going to be having an eclipse watching party in just a couple hours. Exciting stuff, to say the least, and we hope that the weather cooperates and the clouds and the showers and storms stay away. The best time to see it, where 85% of the sun will be covered by the moon, is at 1:39 Central Time this afternoon. Of course, these guys and gals are going to have their certified NASA solar eclipse glasses on so that they can safely look at the sun, and we recommend that you do that as well at home. Even if this wasn't an eclipse day, if you were going to look at the sun for a prolonged period of time, you'd want to have these glasses so the solar eclipse isn't harmful or anything like that. And don't take a picture of the eclipse without an approved solar filter. I know I've seen a lot of people chatting about maybe taking a selfie with the sun behind them. That's not going to turn out anyway, so don't even bother. There's just going to be too much of a lens flare and glare coming back on your camera. We'll have much more coming up a little bit later on, but back to you, Donna.
All right, and Megan's there as well, helping to get some interviews. We'll be checking back in with them later on in the show, and also be sure to stay tuned to our Facebook page throughout the afternoon to get updates from each meteorologist about the eclipse happening in various areas.
And over in Calhoun County at Althus Kindergarten through 12th grade school, we find 2 more News Channel 7 people. Meteorologist Ryan Michaels and reporter Shelley Campbell. Ryan and Shelley, kids excited over there?
Well, yeah, that's right, guys. We're excited up here. You know, as I was driving up from Panama City Beach, I noticed quite a bit of cloud cover down towards the coast. But if you look to the north, the northern sky actually has quite a bit of blue sky out there. And I'll tell you, without looking up right now, I can see that we are right on the cusp from some of the mid to upper level clouds. Even some pretty good low level clouds have developed south of us. We're kind of right on the edge here where we're thinking we might be able to be in that zone where we'll just see some breaks in terms of the cloud coverage and give us a good view of that, well, partial eclipse here for us, but 83% is pretty covered here, considering that line of totality is just off to our north, up towards Tennessee, northern Alabama, northern Georgia. Now, I tell you, the kids are excited here. We're going to go inside in a little bit. We're going to chat about eclipses, talk about, what they can expect to see, some safety procedures. And speaking of safety procedures, if you want to get a good view of it, best thing to have is one of those eyeglasses. And of course, you want to put them on while you look down, then look up, find the sun, look back down, take them off. You don't want to use regular sunglasses. That would be a no-no here. You don't have enough protection from some of the sun rays there when that happens. So we're up here. We're excited. We're going to get some kiddos to chat with us, find out their excitement level, and we'll check back in with you guys. Paris?
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. I've been practicing all day since you told me how to do this. Thanks, I appreciate that. We're going to check back with Ryan back later in the show.
Of course, that's been emphasized a lot. For weeks now, we've been talking about the eclipse, and many of you are getting ready to watch it in just a few hours. But if viewed incorrectly, like Ryan was saying, you can do irreversible damage to your eye. Dr. David Edinger with the Eye Center of North Florida says the only safe way to view this eclipse in person is to wear those eclipse glasses and to use them appropriately.
And you put them on with your head turned away, of course, and then you go ahead and look at the sun. And when you're ready to take them off, you turn your head away, because at no time should you look at no matter how dark it seems to get, you're going to get some sun, which can cause major damage.
Dr. Edinger says the infrared light will actually cook your macula, which is the center of your retina. Incorrect viewing can cause permanent damage that won't hurt initially. The correct Eclipse viewing glasses are stamped with an approval code 12312-2.
In Gulf County at Port St. Joe High School, we find meteorologist Jordan Patrick and News Channel 7's Riley McHugh. And some clouds are getting a little bit in the way of the fun. Is that right over there in Gulf County?
That's right, Paris. We are here at Port St. Joe High School, which is one of the schools that are actually allowing their students to go outside to see the event. I'm joined now by Scott Lamberton, one of the science teachers here. So talk to me a little bit about why this is so important to share with your students.
Well, it's a natural phenomenon, which is kind of good in a world where so much of their world is through a phone and virtual things. So they're able to actually see something natural that we don't control. It's doing its own thing. And so if we approach it that way, where it's something that they can embrace that way, then that's why it's worth looking at and dealing with.
That's great. And I know a lot of school systems weren't allowing their students to go outside because of the safety concern. What kind of precautions are you guys doing here to ensure that the students' eyes especially are safe?
Well, we've done several days already of announcements and communication to the students in a variety of formats. And then we will be giving them some glasses. All the students will have a set of glasses to what you, and I've looked at these. I looked at the sun, actually directly at the sun Thursday afternoon, and they work really well. It's going to be an event that they won't have to worry about their eyes being hurt. These are usually checked and calibrated by people that know their stuff, not just have to worry about some company. And so there's several things in layers that we've done to ready them for it.
All right, great. Thank you so much. We're going to be here at Port St. Joe High all day. We'll be here a little later to talk with some of the students who are pretty excited about watching the eclipse. Paris? All
right. Thanks a lot, Jordan. I'm sure that those students are excited to be able to check that out. Hopefully, the clouds will not get in the way. But if they do, if you have a cloudy view out there, you can always go to WJHG.com and watch the eclipse live stream from all over the country.
In other local news today, an Arnold High School student is dead after a shooting in Panama City Beach early Sunday morning. According to the Bay County Sheriff's Office, 16-year-old Jason Price was killed at the CVS near the Hathaway Bridge just after midnight in what they say was a, quote, drug ripoff. Deputies say 3 people were arrested in connection to the murder. 18-year-old Rodney Jones and 24-year-old Gertavius Canada are both charged with felony murder and armed robbery. 21-year-old DeMarcus Giddens is charged with an open count of murder and armed robbery. Officials say they believe Giddens actually shot the teenager.
Well, stay with us. We come back. Riley McHugh has this Monday morning sports wrap.
She's taking us to the gridiron to see how one local high school is preparing for the upcoming football season.
And right now, as you look over my shoulder from our Panama City Beach camera, you can see a whole lot of cloud cover continuing across northwest Florida. Will the cloud cover thin out, though, in time for the eclipse? We'll try and nail it all down. That's coming up in just a moment.
You're watching News Channel 7 at 11 with Donna Bell, Paris Janos, and Viper 7 weather with meteorologist Ryan Michaels. From the Viper 7 Weather Center, here is certified meteorologist Chris Smith.
Well, the western part of the United States starting to get a glimpse of the solar eclipse. This is a live view right now out in Oregon, where you can see the shadow of the moon now beginning to make its way across the sun, but a beautiful sight there. And this will start its trek across the United States from beginning to end. Meanwhile, we talk about what's going on with this eclipse across our area, and what you were seeing in that picture there was the shadow of the moon beginning to cross the sun. So you have the sun here, and then you have the moon in front of it, and here's us spinning around right here, and it's the umbra, the shadow that we're seeing moving across the sun. Of course, all the safety tips we've been talking about for weeks on end. Make sure do not look directly at the sun. You want to make sure to have those protective glasses. For us, we're going to be seeing the eclipse begin at 12:07. It peaks at 1:39. It ends at 3:05. These are all central times, so 12:07 in about an hour from now. The problem for us, though, is going to be the fact that we're going to see a decent amount of cloud cover across the panhandle. So you may have, I think we'll get opportunities to see it. It may not be at totality or the highest percent, but
you'll at some point hopefully be able to see it. But again, right now things continue to remain a little bit on the cloudy side, and you see that over downtown Panama City. A little bit of blue out there in spots. So again, it's going to be a little bit on the tricky side. This is the forecast showing what we're expecting for the cloud cover to be at totality, and obviously not necessarily a good situation. There could be some breaks out there, but as a whole, it's going to be on the fair to poor side of the spectrum. And here's what's been going on so far today. This is the visible satellite loop, and you see the cloud cover that's been basically spreading in across our area. In particular, along the coastline right now is where the cloud cover is thicker. As you make your way up towards Alabama, up toward the I-10 corridor, you'll have a little bit better chance of seeing the eclipse up there. Not quite as much cloud cover, or at least a little bit more in the way of breaks this afternoon. Meanwhile, temperatures still plenty hot, well up into the 80s to near 90 degrees. You see the cloud cover and the wet weather now sliding up. We do have a decent chance for some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Right now, we do have some rainfall back down towards Apalachicola and St. George Island, seeing some. So just kind of keep that in mind. Some showers offshore of Okaloosa County and Walton County. Those showers sliding off toward the north and west. And that's what we're expecting today, for the activity to gradually slide its way up the coastline and make its way farther inland, so you will see those showers pop up by later on this afternoon. So again, not necessarily the perfect conditions for the eclipse, but your forecast nonetheless today, upper 80s to lower 90s. Rain chances at about 30 to 40%. Overnight tonight, lows will drop down into the mid to upper 70s. Rain chances only running at about 10%. Quick check on the tropics. A couple things we're watching. There's a wave out across the Atlantic. No development there. Now a new wave just off the coast of the Bahamas that has a 40% chance of development. And what was Harvey could redevelop there, down moving toward the Bay of Campeche, now with an 80% chance of development. Here's your Viper 7-day forecast. Rain chances today, 40%. High temperatures near 90. Overnight low temperatures mainly in the 70s. Here's a quick look at your fishing game forecast, brought to you by Half Hitch Tackle. And there you see we have a few good peaks today, this afternoon, and again this evening at 8:20. But again, cloud cover, guys, gonna be a bit of an issue, but I'm still optimistic.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. We don't want the cloud cover to eclipse the
yet.
eclipse.
Right,
Yes.
that's true. You can only see the sun so much through the clouds, that's for sure.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, Chris. It's great to have you on the show.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Good to have the chief here.
Desperate times.
Yeah.
All the other Mets out in the field covering this monumental scientific event, but it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Well, we're going to see how one local high school team's preparing for the upcoming football season.
Riley McHugh has that and more in our morning sports wrap.
Good morning. With the high school football regular season just a few days away, we continue our tour of area teams with the Graceville Tigers. There's a slight increase in roster size from last year. The Tigers are up to 41 players between varsity and JV. Justin Miles takes the reins as the new head coach. He's also the basketball coach for the Tigers as well.
A lot of the kids that played during the spring were out here, and I was out here, so, you know, they still remember the stuff that we're trying to do, and that's the stuff we're trying to do, you know, in the fall. So we try to implement that, you know, during the spring and then get more in depth during the fall. And then we had them all summer.
The Tigers host Blountstown in the season opener Friday. To college ball, 13 days remain until Florida State kicks off the 2017 campaign against Alabama in Atlanta. The weather is hot and players are being pushed to their physical edge during preseason camp. Head coach Jimbo Fisher calls this time of year the dog days of fall. With a high-stakes season opener against the Crimson Tide looming on the horizon, Coach Fisher wants his players to get used to playing when they're tired and to strengthen up mentally.
Execution, line up, run the play, run it right, make a play when you're tired, bruised, sore, and the game's on the line. Every day. Mental toughness. No matter what the situation, you get the job done.
And in Gainesville, there's a battle for starting quarterback between Notre Dame transfer Malik Zaire, redshirt freshman Felipe Franks, and redshirt junior Luke Del Rio. But what quarterback will be giving the Gators the offensive boost they've really been looking for? Franks says he just tries to make each day at practice count.
I approach it more as just every single day, you just go out there and get better, you know, just make your reps count. Like I said before, we're all in a QB competition, you know, rooting each other on. And I don't think I look at it like that, you know, going and waiting for that moment when he comes out and says, who's the starter? But I think I just go out there every day just to get better and, you know, build chemistry with my teammates.
And that'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
All right, thanks a lot, Riley. Still ahead, our crime and safety consultant is in his house.
That's right. Find out what safety advice we have today.
Welcome back to News Channel 7 at 11. It's Monday. That means Paul Vecker, our crime and safety consultant, joins us. And as always, Paul, you have some great advice for us on how to keep ourselves, our family, and our possessions safe.
Absolutely. And today I want to talk about the situation that happened over the weekend. The Panama City Beach Police Department reported that they had over 10 vehicles that had been broken into or entered. And of course, all the doors were unlocked.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that we really want to press in our viewers. Make sure that you lock your doors during the daytime and also in the evening if you're away from the vehicle for either whether it be a short period of time or a long period of time. A lot of people are not aware that there are a lot of transients in our area here in Bay County, and we have a lot of people wandering around in the evening hours while we're sleeping. And it's very important to keep your doors locked of your vehicle. Otherwise, they're going to try to get as much as they can. One of the biggest problems that, of course, we have when they get into your vehicle, if they obtain that personal information of yours, it's going to be easy for them to obtain other maybe credit cards in your name, etc. Checks that are found sometimes underneath the seat. And about a year ago, we had a lady that lost a lot of money by hiding the money bag from a local business underneath her car seat.
Oh, my goodness.
And she left the vehicle inside, of course, in her garage, but the garage door was left unlocked and raised. And when they went in there, they went through the vehicle and found the money.
So lock that car, and even then, don't leave stuff in there.
That's correct.
It's easier. We're in a hurry. I'll just leave that there and I'll get it later. Don't do that. It's your advice. Lock that car, and even then, don't leave valuable stuff inside your vehicle.
Especially handguns or anything like that. You want to make sure that vehicle is locked, because you can be liable if somebody gets that gun out of your vehicle, an unlocked vehicle, and something were to happen by that suspect using that handgun and maybe committing a robbery or a serious offense. So you want to be very, very careful. The other thing I want to bring up is that scam class that's coming up next week.
Okay.
On the 31st of August of this month.
Do you still have any openings on
And
that?
we have a few openings left. We have approximately 10 openings left. The program starts at 10 a.m. at the Bay County Sheriff's Office multi-purpose room. We highly recommend that the people want to get on board. Please contact 215-5439. That's 215-5439, and sign your name, give your information, and we'll get you on the program.
This is a free class.
This is a free class in the multi-purpose room at the Bay County Sheriff's, and of course, Paris open to the general public.
Great. Paul Vecker, thanks once again for providing us with some fantastic information.
You bet.
Great
Thank
stuff.
you, sir.
You are watching News Channel 7 at 11. We'll be back. Stick around.
Welcome back to News Channel 7 at 11. Now for your Medical Monday report. A baby born between 39 and 40 weeks is considered full term. A baby born premature can spend days or months in a neonatal intensive care unit, also known as a NICU. In today's Medical Monday report, we tell you about a medical condition called preeclampsia that puts the mom and unborn baby at risk and often leads to premature birth. Sarah and Brian Oglesby found out they would be first-time parents the day before Christmas Eve. The pregnancy was progressing fine until Sarah's blood pressure started elevating.
My doctor came in and told me that we had preeclampsia and it was severe. And she honestly thought that we were going to have the baby, like right then.
Usually they have hypertension, they have proteinuria, which means they excrete a lot of protein in the urine, and clearly that's a bad condition. The treatment for it, other than the medical treatment, is ultimately delivery of the baby, even if the baby is delivered prematurely.
But 27 weeks and 4 days, we delivered our little baby girl at 7:36 in the morning. We actually heard her cry, which was a big sigh of relief because we didn't think that she was going to have anything to cry about.
Little Leia Louise weighed only 1 pound and 16 ounces.
Which is equivalent to 2 sticks of butter, almost, is how much she weighed.
Leia spent 70 days in the neonatal intensive care unit at Gulf Coast Regional Medical Center.
It's hard. You have to kind of remove yourself from time to time to just take a breath and gather yourself so that you can go back in there and be the strong one for them.
These nurses and these doctors up here, you know, they put themselves in that position to do what's best for your baby and to take care of them and to feed them and to change them. And be there, support.
Leia was released from the NICU a little over a week ago. She still needs oxygen, but she's growing and getting stronger each day.
And we're not sleeping, but that's okay.
My girls are everything to me. I didn't know that I could love anyone as much as I love my wife, and then Leia came along, so.
Doctors say there's nothing that can be done to prevent preeclampsia. Leia is about 2.5 months old. Her original due date was August 28th, so in a typical situation, she still wouldn't have even been born yet. That gives you an idea of just how premature little Leia was. Doctors do expect her to continue thriving, though. Well, still ahead, today's the big day, the Great American Eclipse, and Donna and Paris will be back with more coverage on the big event. Stay with us.
We're checking in live all across Northwest Florida on area viewing parties for the Great American Eclipse.
Also, Franklin County Sheriff's deputies cleaned the streets this weekend, which led to several arrests.
Live from WJHG in high definition, this is News Channel 7 at 11.
Today's the day, the solar eclipse, just 2 hours and 9 minutes away. Good morning, I'm Paris Janos.
And I'm Donna Bell. We're continuing our countdown here on the second half of News Channel 7 at 11 a.m.
All right, and that countdown going on as we speak. And today is finally here, the day the entire U.S. can see a solar eclipse. People throughout our area are getting ready to see the celestial event. And News Channel 7's Tyler Allender joins us live from Chipley with more. Tyler?
Paris, I'm here at Rolac Middle School in Chipley, where students and staff couldn't be more excited to look up in the sky and learn. Of course, they're going to be using these special NASA-certified solar eclipse glasses, where if I look around, I can't see anything. That means it's working unless I look up at the sun. Well, first I want to look straight, put them on, and then look up, and I can just see the yellow ball that is the sun. So you want to do that if you're at home too. Have some safe way of viewing. Also, don't bother taking a picture. It's just better to take it in yourself and then worrying about having to put it on social media later. And the best time here to see it will be at 1:39 Central Time. That's when the peak of the eclipse will happen. We'll see 85% of the sun covered up by the moon. And we'll gradually see that happen starting a little bit after noon. But again, the peak at 1:39. And again, don't take a picture of the eclipse unless you have an approved solar filter. So that's all here from Rolac Middle School. We'll be checking in with the kiddos a little bit later on.
All right, great job, Tyler. And Megan Bell's joined Tyler over there. They're going to be bringing us more from the eclipse viewing party tonight. They'll be live also on our Facebook around 1:30, so you want to make sure you check that out.
Over in Calhoun County at the New Alpha K-12 school, meteorologist Ryan Michaels is hanging out with the kids there, also giving them a little bit of a science lesson with this natural event going on. Ryan?
Well, good morning, Donna. Everybody back at home. Yeah, we're excited to be out here in Alpha. As I was mentioning before, when I was driving up, the cloud cover was right there near the coast, but if I'm looking out towards the north, I see quite a bit of blue skies out there, and we are right on the borderline here today with some cloud cover. I'm also joined by a couple students here. We've got Hunter and Amberly. Are you guys excited here for this eclipse?
Yes.
Yes? How long have you been maybe anticipating seeing this? Have you been excited for quite some time?
Yeah, I've been excited for about a week now.
About a week now. Have you guys been learning about it in school, Hunter?
Oh, no, never.
No?
Yeah, we actually have, man. The way the sun comes around and the moon gets in front of it, that's really cool to me.
Very, very cool. Yeah. All right, well, you guys are going to be out here viewing the eclipse. Now, you see just a little bit of cloud cover. What do you guys think? Give me a little quick forecast here. Are we going to be able to see the sun, or is it going to be too cloudy?
I really hope so. I mean, I don't know whose bright idea it was, but I mean, this cloud cover is just not getting me, so I just...
Well, we're right on the broken line there. What do you think? Are we going to be able to get the sunshine to peek out?
I hope the sun or the clouds move out of the way, so we can see it. But right now, the clouds are covering it.
Yeah, it's a little bit covered up right now, but like we were talking about before, we were hoping to get some breaks in the clouds. And we're going to have about the 4th graders through the 12th graders out here in the Commons area watching the eclipse. So this is going to be pretty cool. You can also follow us on Facebook for this as well. Donna?
I love it. And I love that young lady's shirt. It says, "Get out and see the world." That's very appropriate for today. Thanks a lot, Ryan. And if you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to go to WJHC.com. We have an eclipse site where you'll be able to see coverage in real time all afternoon from all across the nation.
And if you're watching from home and your pet is sitting by, we wanted to know if they would act any different during the eclipse. So we talked to Dr. Gary Barr at Vets Pets in Panama City Beach. Now, he said he doesn't expect a dramatic change in behavior since the celestial event only lasts a few hours. However, some animals who have different patterns at night versus during the day may act a little strange or maybe get a little anxious.
I would expect it to impact exotic animals and insects more than our house pets. Based on studies of the past, we expect certain insects to be affected by it, like cicadas, bees, even small animals like squirrels.
So again, the eclipse should not affect any household pets, just some of those more exotic animals.
Now let's head back live out to Port St. Joe in Gulf County with meteorologist Jordan Patrick, where kids are getting a science lesson in real time today. Jordan?
Hey, it's Riley here. I'm at Port St. Joe High School, and Port St. Joe is allowing their students to go outside to view the eclipse. They'll be going out in 2 groups during 7th period, and I'm joined by Burke, who is a senior at Port St. Joe High School. So Burke, tell me how your school has prepared you for the eclipse.
Our school has prepared us by providing us with the right glasses, so the safety precautions, and allowing us time to go out with teachers and administration so that we can view it safely without injuring ourselves.
And do you believe that students here are excited for the eclipse?
Yes, I do. I think that they're very, very excited. I've heard a lot of chatter about the students being, wanting to be really involved in it because it's science and it's history together, and I think that that means a lot to them.
And then are you looking forward to the eclipse in 7 years from now?
Yes, unfortunately I won't be able to view this one at school today because I'll be at work, but in 7 years I would definitely have to make time in order to get back and see that for myself.
Great, thanks so much for talking with us. And Donna, so according to our meteorologist Jordan Patrick, it might be a little cloudy out here at Port St. Joe, but students are still really excited to get out there, put their glasses on, and see the eclipse. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Riley. And one of the great things about having our meteorologists in the classrooms is to give them that real-time science lesson as well. So Jordan already busy interacting with the kids over in Port St. Joe. And Jordan will also be making a Facebook Live appearance. Be sure to check in with him this afternoon around 12:30 as they continue to coverage this on social media throughout the day.
In other local news, according to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, officials teamed up with the Apalachicola Police Department in making several arrests over the weekend. Operation Clean These Streets was pursued after the FCSO says it received calls and complaints about drug use, gunshots, and late-night activity. Officials say they patrolled the areas of 24th and 25th Streets, Gibson Road, and the surrounding villas. 7 people were arrested for charges including underage drinking and meth dealings. FCO says it will conduct similar operations regularly.
Coming up, a Navy ship and oil tanker crashed this morning.
The search is on for the 10 missing American sailors. We have the latest.
And meanwhile, we take a live look from Nashville, Tennessee, where we're looking at not quite the eclipse, at least not yet. That begins at 11:58 in Nashville. They are in the path of totality. Meanwhile, back here at home, we have some problems. We have a good amount of cloud cover across parts of the panhandle. Will the cloud cover thin out for the eclipse? We'll try and nail it all down. That's coming up in just a moment.
You're watching News Channel 7 at 11 with Donna Bell, Paris Janos, and Viper 7 weather with meteorologist Ryan Michaels. From the Viper 7 Weather Center, here is certified meteorologist Chris Smith.
There's a live look right now from Silverton, Oregon. As the eclipse is underway there, you continue to see the shadow crossing over the sun this afternoon. Meanwhile, it will continue to make its way across the United States. But back here at home, yes, things are a little bit on the cloudy side. Max point of totality for us will be 83% at 1:39, and it wraps up at 3:05. So basically, we have about 3 hours to catch some glimpses of the eclipse. And I think we will get that opportunity as we move through the afternoon hours. It may be cloudy at the peak time, but I still think there will be enough breaks in the cloud cover to go ahead and sneak some peaks this afternoon. Meanwhile, we take a live look right now over downtown Panama City. You see the cloudy skies across downtown. We had a little shower just pop up a little while ago, and that's going to be the main threat today will be the cloud cover. And as a result, the forecast for the cloud cover this afternoon saying visibility is going to be on the poor side of things, although I do anticipate the farther north you go up toward the I-10 corridor, you'll have a little bit better opportunity to see the eclipse than, say, down along the coastline. But still, we're getting plenty of reports of the cloud cover thinning out enough to get some nice shots of the sun so far right now. We just need it to happen in about 30 minutes as this gets underway here in Northwest Florida. Temperatures right now currently into the 80s. It's been a toasty afternoon, very warm and humid. You see some of the wet weather down to our south near Apalachicola. They're seeing a little bit of light rainfall this afternoon. Meanwhile, as we make our way on toward the west, things are relatively dry, but you see this one little itty-bitty shower that popped up over the TV station and it's going to slide right down Front Beach Road. So showers are going to be around this afternoon. Just can't kind of keep that in mind. You see the cloud cover as well. So we will see about a 40 to 50% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Things will gradually die down, though, as we make our way on into the evening hours. So your forecast for today. High temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. Feels like temperatures up near the triple digits again. Overnight tonight, things quiet down. We'll see overnight lows dropping down into the 70s. A quick check on talking about what's going on in the tropics. We have several areas we're continuing to watch. No named storms right now. One little wave, not really too concerned about that one, way out across the Atlantic. Another little wave now has a 40% chance of development. And as you throw in some of the computer models here, at least the early ones, saying that this will maybe find its way up near the East Coast and then recurve. We'll continue to watch that one. That one has a 40% chance of development, currently near the central Bahamas. And then these are, this is right here, the remnants of Harvey, and that's getting right across the Yucatan. It actually has an 80% chance to redevelop, and if it does, it would be named Harvey again. So here's your Viper 7-day forecast. Scattered thunder showers today, high temperatures near 90, overnight low temperatures into the 70s, and we'll keep this same forecast going right on through the rest of the week. But the tough news is the cloud cover could inhibit our viewing of the eclipse. But with a 3-hour window, I'm hopeful we'll all at least get to catch it for a little bit. Maybe not at 1:39.
At least to see something.
Yeah,
exactly.
thanks a
If
lot,
not,
Chris.
these feeds that we're getting are pretty spectacular.
It's going to be really cool in a lot of places.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And you can watch that too, WJHG.com.
That's right.
Coverage live throughout.
From all over.
the US.
That's right, from all over.
Well, a widespread search operation is underway for 10 American sailors after their guided missile collided with a large oil tanker right off of Singapore.
NBC's Bill Neely reports from Seoul.
A gaping hole in its waterline, American sailors lining the deck. The guided missile destroyer, the USS John S. McCain, is badly damaged. In the waters nearby, an intense search operation for 10 missing sailors. The battleship moving here under its own power, but the Navy says only action by the crew stopped further flooding. It was hit by this oil tanker, the Alnic MC, flying under a Liberian flag. As well as 10 missing, 5 U.S. sailors were injured, though none has life-threatening injuries. The U.S. destroyer was heading for a routine stop in Singapore. So was the tanker, full of oil, in the narrow Malacca Strait. Just before dawn, they collided. The much heavier tanker holding the warship on the left, port side. In a statement, the Navy said the significant damage resulted in flooding to nearby compartments, including crew berthing, machinery and communications rooms. Senator John McCain tweeted that he and his wife are keeping America's sailors on board the ship in our prayers tonight and appreciating the work of search crews. The ship's crew posted photographs Saturday and just 6 days ago carried out damage control drills. It's the second such accident in as many months for the US Navy. The destroyer's sister ship, the USS Fitzgerald, was hit by a container ship in June. 7 sailors died. The commanding officer and other senior crew relieved of their duties. The cause of this latest collision is unknown, the ship now being examined in port.
And the search area is huge, at least 100 square miles, ships and aircraft from at least 4 countries taking part. And some breaking news, a U.S. defense official says the U.S. Navy chief has ordered a wide investigation into the entire Pacific fleet after these 2 latest incident. So not just an investigation, but a mystery and a tragedy. Back to you.
Still ahead, months after a local church burned down, it is rising from the ashes once again.
We visit the church for one of their first services. And we first told you about a local church losing its sanctuary to a devastating fire back in February.
As News Channel 7's Megan Bell reports, churchgoers and staff are now working on rebuilding.
After a fire destroyed the main sanctuary at the Springfield United Methodist Church in February, members of the congregation were left to gather for their usual church services outdoors or in the Reformation Hall next to the space where the church once stood.
We can have church outside. You know, that's what our first service was. We can have church in this used to be the original church that got everything started.
Longtime church member and new pastor Jack Wetstein says he still doesn't know how the fire started.
They actually haven't been able to find out what took place. They've been speculation of arson, but they can't prove it one way or the other, is my understanding.
And while the cause of the fire is still unknown, members of the congregation tell me they do know how to move forward from the tragic event.
The attitude that we approach this can only happen through Jesus Christ. We can't have the right attitude when things are going tough. It's not easy. But when you have a heart for God and you know that God's working within you, you're okay. You'll work through these things because you know at the end result is this: we win, no matter what. At the end result, we win.
Pastor Wetstein says he's working on raising money to rebuild on the concrete slab that remains where the church used to be.
Sometime down the way, we're going to see a building structure out there where that slab, we've kept the slab and we know we're going to build on that slab eventually.
The plans for the new building are in the works. In Springfield, Megan Bell, News Channel 7.
The pastor also says he's very thankful for the community's devotion to helping that church rebuild.
And you're watching News Channel 7 at 11 on this Eclipse Monday. We'll be back with more. Even though there's been a lot of news about bumped airline passengers and flyers getting stuck for hours on the tarmac, there's still not much being said or done for those hurt by flight delays or cancellations. But some consumer advocates are trying to change that. Here's details from Chris Clackham.
For all the talk about better treatment of airline passengers, critics say the U.S. still lags behind other countries when it comes to flight delays and/or cancellations.
The airlines in their contract of carriage promise to get you from point A to point B, but that's all they promise.
What they don't promise, according to Charles Leoka of the nonprofit passenger rights group Travelers United, is when you'll arrive. But he and others say that could change if only the U.S. had airline rules like Europe.
So that if your flight from Europe to the United States is delayed by 4 hours, you get 600 euros, which is about $650.
Reverse that delayed flight, though, and he says you get nothing. And even with recent improvements in compensation from U.S. airlines.
The thing about air passenger rights and flight compensation is it's bigger in Europe.
Scott Ginsberg is with AirHelp, which, like Flight Right and Get Service, is a flight compensation company that for a fee helps passengers file claims against an airline. Full disclosure here, my wife and I learned a lot about this aspect of passenger rights earlier this summer when our international flight from Europe got canceled. When we finally got home, we filed a claim with the airline through AirHelp and were in fact compensated for our inconvenience. But only after being told about all this by friends in Europe, which Leoka and Ginsberg both say should be the responsibility of airlines everywhere.
I dream that one day the U.S. will have air passenger rights as generous and as human as the European counterparts do.
Federal regulators have a website dedicated to passenger complaints that doesn't cost anything. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
Well, Krispy Kreme's offering its original glazed donuts in a coat of chocolate. Krispy Kreme is eclipsing the original glazed donut as a special offer to celebrate the solar eclipse. Normally, the chocolate glazed donut only has chocolate on the top, but this is special because the glaze encompasses the entire donut. The donut will be available during hot light hours all day today at participating locations. And full disclosure for me, I had one today. Thanks, Leslie Smith. You're watching News Channel 711. When we come back, another look at that wonderful celestial event. Coming up this evening on News Channel 7 at 5 and 6, we will have a wrap-up of our eclipse coverage from across Northwest Florida.
Also, one teenager has died after a shooting that happened over the weekend. We'll have the latest on the investigation. Those stories and so much more coming up tonight, News Channel 7, 5, and 6 o'clock.
All right, remember Friday when we closed out the show, it was only supposed to be you and Ryan here,
right.
and
Notice
I was going to
here.
win Powerball.
Yeah, but
Well,
we're all here.
Guess what?
All of us.
Nobody's
Nobody's
all
in
six
Aruba.
numbers. Nobody won all 6 numbers for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. The jackpot was $541 million. The prize has now gone up to, make a guess, Donna.
$650 million, perhaps?
You guessed them exactly right.
Aren't I
know,
smart?
You know, it's very entirely likely that it's going to go up even more than that before the next drawing Wednesday night.
Unbelievable. Well, several tickets did match 5 numbers for $1 and $2 million prizes,
Those
which
poor people.
just seems so low, right, in comparison? Well, if you want to double check, though, the numbers are 17, 68, 19, 43, 39, Powerball number 13.
All right, now this current jackpot's been growing since June. There have been 21 straight drawings with no winner. The next drawing's Wednesday night.
That's a lot of money.
All right, I'm thinking I just had to wait for the eclipse.
Wow.
And that's going to be my good mojo for winning.
Well, today's the day for you.
All right, what do you think, Chris?
It's not looking all that good right now. It's a little on the cloudy side. It's looking good up in Nashville, Tennessee. They're about ready to start the eclipse at 11:58 is when the eclipse begins there. Our problem will be the cloud cover that we're currently looking at. There'll be breaks in the cloud cover, but you're not going to get the clear skies across the panhandle like they're saying places to the north. You see that cloud cover again up across the I-10 corridor will probably be your better chance of seeing it. Along the coastline, cloud cover is a little bit thicker right now with those showers and thunderstorms that have popped up down near Apalachicola, and that's throwing some of that cloud cover across our area. We'll begin to see some of the more showers pop up this afternoon, so we're not done yet. Let's talk about in your Viper 7-day forecast. Rain chances over the panhandle are going to be on the higher end of the spectrum. We'll see those rain chances at about 40%.
Clouds go away. We have a show to see.
I know. All right, guys, have a great day. Hope you get to see some of the eclipse safely.
Have a good afternoon.